Well, they've finally done it. They finally made Star Wars so woke that it's actually just using the colors and iconography of real-world political and social movements straight into a galaxy that is not so far, far away. And guess what else, folks? It turns out that other franchises and their content creators have decided that's A-okay for them too. Today, we'll tell you why it's a sign these people simply are not that smart. Hello folks, happy day, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are swimming through the waters that can be murky, but we make them perfectly clear every single time in a way that drives the Hollyweirds mad. Someone who's already mad, so there's nowhere left to go. Marvin the Movie Monster is back with us. Marvin, how are you?
My anger's always at a 10, but I can easily take it to an 11.
And I can see you've got your spooky background on, so apropos for the month. But you have not seen anything as spooky as this, Marvin. Coming to us from a website called Gaming Bible. It says Star Wars shares first official look at a particular type of clone trooper. Now, folks, we understand there are some things and topics that we simply cannot cover on this platform, so you will have to forgive us. We know how to make sure that this goes where it needs to go, and so if we avoid some words, just know that we're doing it to be savvy. This is by Emma Flint. It says the Star Wars fandom has been given a first official look at the lives of the clone troopers behind the suit, so to speak. Among the first of the stories it'll tell is that of Sister. Initially, all of the clone troopers looked the same, hence the name. However, after the transition to stormtroopers, the people behind the mask became more varied. But Sister's story comes from the time of the clones. Star Wars fans may not be familiar with Sister, but her character isn't new. That said, this will be the first time we've probably properly gotten to know and see her. The Secret of the Clone Troopers will include Sister's story as well as many others. Now, my understanding, Marvin, is that this character has indeed been around, but was just, kind of mentioned briefly in a novel that nobody read. So
yeah,
this is Star Wars promoting this now, and I want to show people the danger of it. I'm going to do this from a different angle than many people are probably expecting. You can see out of Star Wars Holocron, it says the secrets of the clone troopers includes a first look at Sister, a particular type of clone trooper. Rex's description of Sister in the book reads, when one of our kind expressed identity differently than other troopers, we'll just leave it there. And folks, I always enjoy reading stuff that I know that had I seen it in the 15 years ago, someone would have had to have explained it to me dramatically, because it would not have looked like English. But here's the point, though, Marvin, that I want to show people. So this is a stormtrooper who is wearing colors that directly relate to colors of a real-world flag. This is a character in a fictional universe wearing colors of a real-world flag. And so this is just as ludicrous as if you saw a Star Wars character with an American flag. That would be ludicrous. It's just as ridiculous if you saw a character in Star Wars, say Luke was on Canadian Thanksgiving wearing a maple leaf. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm not even sure that maple trees exist in Star Wars. Where's Lorne? But the idea here
somewhere.
Exactly. The idea here is that you take a fantasy product and you subjugate it to your own political ideologies. And in doing so, you break the fictional product, but you don't care. And that's what these people are doing. They are ensuring that you cannot escape from the real world to go visit a fantasy world, because what they want in the real world, what they want to normalize, they're going to make sure that your eyes are stuck seeing it everywhere. In doing so, they break the fantasy, they break the illusion. But again, they don't care, because they don't care about anything but power. Where am I wrong, Marvin?
You're not wrong. It's immersion breaking. It basically just shatters the Star Wars universe, because you're taking real world iconography and you're inserting it into a place that's supposed to be a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It would be like if in the holiday special, instead of Life Day, they had just celebrated Christmas. And
sure, absolutely.
Would have made
that's a good example, though.
sense.
That's a really good example, Marvin, because that's the other end of the political spectrum, right? The folks out there who are doing this They might be very shocked and appalled if Christmas became part of Star Wars.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It would have been, oh, you're pushing your faith on us, you're pushing your holidays on us. But this is you're pushing ideology on us, and you're doing it in a way with symbols from the real world that are going to resonate. And I mean, if you look at this clone trooper right here, you see the colors of the flag, and I believe I'm trying to figure out if under the pectoral armor there's actual stripes there as well relating to the flag, which could also be seen as scars from a certain kind of surgery that yes. people with this ideology have, which I think is, I can't tell if it's a shadow or if that's actually the thing, but I think it is actually the colors underneath the pectorals, which is just
it is.
Wild.
Take a look at that.
It is. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Over in That Park Place, we've got it. Here's the article on That Park Place. It says BattleTech author Brian Young approves of Star Wars marketing this particular ideology because this is for a children's book. We talked about this on the Valiant Renegade show. This is a kid's book. And so this continues to be in there where we convince children to question. We'll just leave it there. Folks, we're savvy, remember? So let's read what this has to say. And for those who don't know what BattleTech is, if you've ever heard of Mech Warrior, the video game series, that's the universe this resides in. It says, Brian Young, the author of numerous BattleTech stories, shared his approval of Star Wars marketing that particular ideology to kiddos. It says the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm recently released a new book titled Star Wars, The Secret of the Clone Troopers that is marketed towards children and features a trooper of a particular type. It says ex-user S.W. Holocron, who appears to have purchased a copy of the book that is written by Mark Sumerak and illustrated by Alberto Basuccio, revealed the book includes a first look at Sister, and we've, of course, seen all of that. But the BattleTech side of this, and there's Jonas. Good job, Jonas. Good job being an investigative reporter. Look at that, folks. Down here at the very bottom, I don't know if you can see this easily, but at the bottom it says, at a glance, who is this for? Children. It's for children. Mm-hmm. And so the BattleTech universe, this author, and by the way, I've always wondered, Marvin, is this passing gas of that color behind? I don't understand.
It does kind of look like it. It does kind of look like, and by the way, this does not look like what I would imagine Temu Morrison would look like as a female.
No, I don't think so either. But that's your imagery. So anyway, the idea here is that it's not just Star Wars; it's other authors who are considering that this is a good idea to bring the real world with real world flags into fantasy worlds in order to achieve a particular political position. And I think it's gross. I think it subjugates the fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I think it proves once and for all that these people are propagandists. And I just wish they'd come out and say, yes, I'm a propagandist. My job is to take that which you love and transform it for my own socio-political goals. They should do that. They should just outright declare it.
You know, Star Wars gets a lot of flack for being a propaganda arm of a certain political party. And I think sometimes you can kind of wave that away. This is the most direct, obvious propaganda I have ever seen in a fantasy property, because you're inserting an actual flag that people wave at rallies into a fantasy universe. And, you know, you can't deny that's propaganda, whether you believe with the ideology or not. That is inserting modern day identity politics directly into Star Wars.
Right, and so we can bring in the Asmongold controversy right now without getting too explicit, but you could imagine that we're not far away from a particular flag of the Middle East being put onto stormtroopers or onto battle mechs or what have you. And I think that's where we are. I think one of the issues here, Marvin, is that these people who are doing this, the propagandists, they are such low resolution thinkers. And you know, Marvin, how a child can't differentiate between fantasy and reality. And so that's that part of that is charming, right? Because there is a time in a child's life when they believe in certain things that adults simply do not.
Yeah.
These adults apparently can't differentiate either reality from fiction, and they want to merge them together. And perhaps that's also what's going on in some of these identity issues in the world, in which people believe that just like in the internet, in the real world, they can just declare, I am this or I am that. And they can role play that, and you must respect the role play. Now, I don't know everybody's going to be different, but I do think there's something to that. And I think that's one of the reasons why these folks can't see exactly what it is that's so offensive about what they're doing. They don't have perhaps the mental prowess to understand it. Hopefully this video will help.
So to me, I also think there's something a little bit more insidious going on there. What you said about how kids can't differentiate fantasy from reality, I think they're exploiting that by including
That's a good point.
By including modern day iconography in in stories like this, because you're essentially blurring the line between fantasy and reality and putting this thing that they're trying very hard to get in front of kids' faces, in front of their faces in both fantasy and reality. It's why, when Helldivers 2 first came out, there were calls that they wanted this flag and other, flags associated with orientation to be put into that game. And the creators took a hard stand and said no. They also said, we're not going to put, we're not going to put American flags in. We're not going to put British flags in. We're not going to put Canadian flags in because it's not what we're doing. We're Super Earth. We're not, modern day Earth. It's all just immersion breaking nonsense set to reach the minds of young kids. Where by the way, we've already had a female stormtrooper. We had Omega in the Bad Batch, and if I'm supposed to accept that somebody who identifies as a woman is a woman, shouldn't a female character be enough for you to identify with? It's the thing that drives me crazy.
It's also fascinating to me that we're in a world where just recently the whole push was about, do not do body shaming, and you're perfect just the way you are, and all of that. And by the way, I think that goes too far as well. I think we do all need to look in the mirror and make a determination about ourselves, and we can gently remind others, but out of care, if they need to improve, I recommend folks you do that with only the family members who will not slug you for doing so. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to watch us coming from that to now a world where we are encouraging children to shame their own bodies by feeling disenfranchised by the biology, which they are. They're one and the same with that biology. We all are. It's what manifests our consciousness into the world.
Well, you know what? Body shaming only goes in one direction. If you think that you were born in the wrong body, then it's perfectly fine to hate your body and to make extreme changes to alter it. If you're a land whale and you're like, I want to get healthy because my heart is in trouble, and you start going to the gym, they'll attack you for it and say that your body.
That's true. We've switched to that now. You're exactly right, Marvin. And all of this, I think, is part of this rollout of making sure that the real world and these real agendas that many people don't agree with, that they're in fiction in an intrinsic way aimed at children. So that's where we are, Marvin. I'll give you final word on it.
At the end of the day, leave fantasy as fantasy. We need our escapism. At the end of the day, this world that we live in today, this modern day world, it stinks. And you know what? Sometimes we all need to escape from it. We all need to escape from the fact that there's 24-hour news networks that are broadcasting agenda-driven, quote unquote news 24/7 on either side. It's all slanted, and we just see it non-stop. It's enough to drive a human being mad. We have to be able to find solace in the things that we love. That means fantasy, it means books, it means TV, it means movies, it means video games. And unfortunately, if the places that we go to escape modern day are filled with modern day, then there's no longer an escape, and the mental health issue that we have in this country only gets worse.
As Obi-Wan Kenobi said, Marvin, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this galaxy a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all stormtroopers will be Wait, no! That's the real world again. All right, folks, it's time for a real world moment. We need you to really click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below and let us know your thoughts. And folks, if you're not yet subscribed to Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling, those are the channels where Marvin will bring you even more insights you just must fight to receive. Marvin, what's coming up on your channels?
Well, we've got on Tooneytown TV, we're back to doing daily videos. We had to take a little break while I was under the weather, but we are back to bringing out information on things like Joker 2's box office, things like Simu Liu going off the rails. We have got nuts. I know. Nuts. And we've got a live stream, Toonie Talk TV Thursday nights at 8 p.m. So make sure you're there for us with that. If you're a wrestling fan, check out Tooneytown Wrestling. We've got a ton of wrestling comedy over there. And of course, you guys can always catch me on that Park Place. I'm the theme park reporter over there. You could also catch me on T3PO, on that Park Place's live stream. You can catch me on the Pro Show. I'm pretty much all over the place. I never sleep.
We can also find Marvin over on the Agatha After Party happening tonight if you're watching this video at the time of release. And apologies, folks, for having to suffer through it. You all love it, but apologies to all my panelists who have to continue watching this horrible show. But the great news is tonight, folks, will be doing a charity stream. So if you'll hop in with us, we're going to be donating money to victims of both of the hurricanes, and we would love to have you be a part of that. We'll at least put a silver lining on the horridness that is Marvel's Agatha all along. Folks, it's now time to say farewell for now, but don't worry, for 3 videos are on the way, thrice as nice, each and every day here on the Pro Channel. So until the next time, folks, keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.
You better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro's music channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube, one of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.